Does this thing even work? Welcome back to the Build Show. Welcome back to the Build Show, Porgus Lore. I almost said your name while I was saying that. That was weird. Mike, welcome back to the Build Show. It's time. It's time we build again. And tonight, we're not going to be building one, but we're going to be building two. Play some catch up here. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it, guys, because we had a poll going over here on the YouTube side, and so far, the majority of you think I am not going to build this within the 1 hour. So 67% of you say that we are not going to be building this within 1 hour. I disagree with that. I think we could do this build within 1 hour. Well, let's talk about the build really quick before we start the clock, shall we? Or does this count against the clock? You guys think this should count against the clock? You probably should. You probably do think this counts against the clock. So we'll run through it pretty quickly. But Austin, this is your build. Austin had ordered the Frostfire and customized some of the part selections from our website. So, from my website. The Ryzen 7 5700X is the CPU you selected. I believe the original processor would have been the 5600. So he did upgrade the processor from the 6-core 12-thread to the 8-core 16-thread processor. So excellent choice there. The graphics card was also a selection that was changed to the 9060 XT 8GB versus the 7600, which would have been the default card for the Frostfire. So that was an upgrade as well. A generation leap, which is also going to give them a little bit better, or a lot of bit better FSR from the 9000 series card. So definitely a great upgrade option there as well. He did leave the Assassin X120, but I went ahead and made sure he had the proper cooling for the proper CPU, because I don't have variables set on the website where if somebody selects a bigger CPU and goes with a smaller air cooler, it doesn't say, hey, we actually recommend this one. So I upgraded you to the Peerless Assassin 120 SE, which is a bigger tower air cooler, which will better handle the CPU. Not that the other CPU cooler would not have handled it. It would have handled it just fine. I am just more comfortable shipping it with this cooler versus the other one. It's about a $20 difference, but there was no cost to you on that. Because our website does not do that, and I like doing the right thing, I took care of that for you, so don't worry about that. But the Peerless Assassin is the better cooler for the Ryzen 7 5700X, and you can actually pretty much put any CPU under this cooler if you upgrade again in the future. So, excellent cooler. It does, however, cover up a little bit of the RAM, but this RAM is not RGB RAM, so not too big of a concern there. Or is this stuff RGB? No, this is not the RGB RAM. So this next up is our motherboard. We're going to be putting that on a B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi, which is a micro ATX motherboard. But I like these boards because they have features like USB-C. A lot of the B550 micro ATX boards don't have that. And it also has two addressable RGB options, one at the top and one at the bottom of the board. Sorry, up here at the top. And I think it's located like down here somewhere, either there or there. But there's two addressable RGB headers on this board, so I really like this board, plus the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth. It has everything that you need, and the additional M.2 slot. So it's a very functional micro ATX board. Offers a lot for what it is. Next is our RAM. We're going to be running 32 gigs, and because of the RAM shortage, this would have been T-Force Vulcan Z, but because of the RAM shortage, that RAM was completely outpriced out of this build. So we ended up going with Time Tech, which is Pinnacle. I've used this in the past in pinches. It's excellent RAM, still same performance, CL16 at 3200 megahertz and 216 gigabytes, 32 gigs total. So you have your 32 gigs. It's just a different brand. That's all. Next is the SSD, which is a 1 terabyte NVMe. And again, because of the shortage, we would have gone with a Team Group MP44, but this is an equivalent performer, which is a Predator by, believe it or not, Acer, which is a, sorry, a GM7. It's a Gen 4 SSD, same performance as what the MP44 would have offered. This is actually probably a better drive, to be honest. It's more expensive. But because of the cost of the SSDs going skyrocketing, a 1 terabyte, for example, and I can step back and actually talk about the RAM also, but the 1 terabyte SSD about 2 months ago would have been about $45, maybe 50, maybe 55, at the most 55. Now a 1 terabyte SSD is about $100 for that one. And if you want, you know, better performer like the Samsung 990 Pro Evo, it's probably more like 110 now. PC components right now are priced high because of AI. The AI demand out there is demanding more server farms, and more server farms means they need more server memory to run the servers in the server farms. And there are only 3 manufacturers. We'll say 2 now because one of them actually dropped out completely out of the desktop arena. There are only 2 manufacturers that create memory for, I think it was Hynix that dropped out, or Micron. So it's Hynix and Samsung that's actually still in the arena, but those are the only 2 manufacturers that make desktop memory, which include the memory for SSDs, which is why a lot of people ask, oh, is that SSD Hynix or Micron, or is it Samsung? It's because the chips, the memory chips that are on the SSDs are manufactured by the same people who make the memory. So those 2 components right now are going up in price because they are focused on making server memory for these server farms for the AI demand. And that means none of our desktop memory is coming in. We have no inventory coming in, which means our prices go up as the demand is there. No such thing as budget builds pretty soon. Yeah, we're already there. I'm scraping by with some requests on Facebook Marketplace. People asking me to work miracles and make a $550, $650 build happen. And I'm barely able to do that right now. Hey, what's up, Frozen Fusion? Welcome back to the Build Show. Oyster Head, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. So that is why this is happening. It's literally because of AI. And I mean, it was eventually going to happen. So if it didn't happen now, it was eventually going to happen, because there's only the 2 manufacturers now that produce our desktop memory. Why is it always AI now? It's the new focus. And in order to meet the demand of the new focus, you gotta, which means more money for them in their pockets. Micron is getting out of it. Yes, that is correct. I talked about that just a few minutes ago. We've got Hynix and Samsung, and that's it. Micron just said, you know what? There's not enough money here. I'm done. Have yourself a nice day. Yeah, we should have just bought them. But they're done. They're not making any desktop, and they didn't make a ton of the RAM that you and I would buy for our gaming PCs. They generally focused on the memory that would have been in like a Dell or an HP, or more of the system integrator builds, and they did it in bulk, and they didn't do fancy heat sinks on them and stuff like that. They did pretty basic. I feel like when somebody says Micron, I think of basic memory. The basic sticks, you know? Micron. But that's mostly what they focused on. So it's not a huge impact for us, but how it is going to impact us is they are not going to fill that hole, which means Samsung and Hynix is going to fill that hole, which means it's less memory for us, even more less memory for us. So that's how it is going to impact us. Because the more you buy, the more you save. Yes, it's actually right now with memory and SSDs, the sooner and the more you buy, the more you save, because the price is just going to keep going up. So that is true. Right now, the price of RAM, if you think it's insane right now, if you wait probably another month after this holiday season, when we completely deplete through this holiday season the inventory that's out there, you think it's insane right now, I guarantee in January everybody's going to be dropping their jaws another level when they look at the price of 32 gigs of RAM in January. It's going to be insanely expensive. Yes, the good thing is that Samsung is ramping up production in the next couple of months. That's just going to take them time to get there, though. It's not going to happen, you know, by the flip of a switch. It's going to take months to recover this, and I would not be surprised that this is going to be the normal for even up to a year. It's just gonna be bad. It's gonna be rough. So think of it as a buy now or pay more is the right way to put it. And it's not getting any better anytime soon. I don't see it happening very, very quickly. You bought 32 gigs, or I bought a 32 by 2 64 gig kit, 6400 CL32 for $300 2 months ago, and I thought that was expensive. That is now like $700, $800 right now. If you go look it up, Frozen. It is absolutely insane how expensive RAM is right now. Some giant idiot says, Samsung 3 gig RAM chips are all going to AI. It's never going to gamers. No, it's not. 1K for DDR5 34 in January, 5K. Yeah. Yep. So it will probably be for 32 gig, like you're saying. It'll be up there. I don't know. I can't predict the actual price. Or it's basically going to be how much until people stop buying it, and then they'll lower the price again. Because that's just money. Money. Everybody wants that money. So that is why everything's so expensive right now. And I'll be honest with you, if I don't focus or pay attention to my pricing on my website, which is manually tweaked, I could be losing money on builds as people are ordering them. Like this one, I was very close to barely breaking even on this build. And that's my fault for not getting the prices adjusted for the increased price on the SSD and the memory. So, all right, we've talked for like 23 minutes now. So, well, not 23. There's some intro there, but at least 10. Let's, because I still have a poll. Everybody thinks I'm not going to complete this within 1 hour. So this leaves me with 37 minutes to complete this. Austin, I hope you're here watching. If not, when you do watch, I hope you enjoy it. Friends, there's a money-making idea. Buy Empower gaming computers, take out, sell the RAM, profit. But, well, I mean, you gotta wait a month at least, or two, for the price to fluctuate. Unless you're like Austin and you wait as long as he did for his build. Thankfully, when I bought these parts about... So, unfortunately, this was ordered pre-funeral for my grandpa. For those of you who don't know, my grandpa passed away, which took up a lot of time, personal time on my end, which delayed a lot of things here at Empower. But for the most part, it's been... but I put this order in before that, so he submitted the order before all that happened, and then I got all the parts ordered before all that happened, and I actually got... I think this kit, we could probably flip this and make a good 50 or 60 bucks off of it. Just saying. We probably got this for about $60 cheaper than what it is now today. I think I got it for like about $110. This 32 gig kit, which is pretty good. Ernesto, my favorite tech, buy pre-builds now versus buying parts individually. That's kind of where it's at. Although that is only going to last, I feel like, until we get through this holiday season, and maybe there's a little bit of inventory left, but that's not going to last very long. So if you are looking to get a good deal on a gaming PC, the best bang for your buck, even though, yes, a lot of places cheap out on like motherboards and power supplies and things, definitely look at pre-builds. They are going to be cheaper because they've probably been sitting on a shelf and they're priced from back before all this happened, probably. So that's going to eventually come back around, and the real price is going to kick in once inventory depletes. So just keep that in mind. Or if the system integrator or whoever built it decides, hey, we can actually increase the price and get away with making more profit. And once that starts happening, then it's just going to be a free-for-all. Deadeye, what's up, man? Welcome back. Welcome to the Build Show. Ant-Man? What's up, Ben? Sorry for lost. Oh, no worries. Thank you, Ant-Man. And welcome back to the Build Show. Same, I got my 9060 XT 16GB on Black Friday. Nice. Did you get that thing installed yet? F Oz. Sorry, I missed your question there. Is an RTX 5060 and a Ryzen 5 7500F all right for 1080p gaming? Yes. Definitely a... I'd say that's definitely a decent combination for 1080p, although if you haven't already purchased the parts and you have the option to change that CPU, I'd probably go with the Ryzen 5 9600 or 7600X over the 7500F. That would be my preference if I had to look at the two. The 7600, 7600X, or the 9600X. Those would be, I think, in my opinion, better overall CPUs for you. Giving you access to PCI Gen 5 also. Deadeye says, I got a 9060 XT before the prices went up. Nice. Yeah, it's hard to do right now. Moni, what's up? I work in a PC shop. You know, we got some Corsair 5200 CL40 at a good price. We're overclocking them to 6000 CL36 so we can offer them to our customers at regular prices. The downside to that is that it is an overclock of the overclock rating from Corsair. If it works, great, but you could still run into, like, if you're a builder such as you guys or me, we want the least amount of problems once a PC leaves the shop, because time is money. So if a PC has to come back, or if we have to service it because of an overclock that's beyond what is rated, then, you know, you're costing yourself money in the long run. But that is a good idea, or a good way for somebody, if you know what you're doing, to kind of work around it. If you find a good kit that allows you to overclock it, then yeah, that's a good way to overcome this insanity. So, excellent point. For sure. True, cooked chat. SSDs in the future will be over $9,000. You think, Porguslor, over there on Twitch? I don't think it's going to get that bad. If an SSD costs $9,000, which actually there are SSDs that exist today that are $9,000, they're just not meant for desktop consumption for our PC builds. They're more for your server farm. Colors pop more on AMD. That's if I think there's a couple of filters you could run from the AMD Adrenalin software, so you can make that happen. Got the Steel Legend edition. I cannot make it go above 50 degrees Celsius with ultra settings on Helldivers 2. Nice. Yeah, I feel like the 3-fan version on the 9060 XT 16GB is really good. Really keeps that card cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Detroit Truck Doctor, welcome back to the Build Show. We're going for records tonight. Well, I haven't technically started building, so for the record, we're at 30 minutes now, so it would be a good time to start, which means 1 hour and 30 minutes into the stream would be 1 hour into this build. Right? Does that work for everybody? Is that fair? If I start right now, 30 minutes in. You guys ready? Let's get started. Let's do this thing. I'm going to chuck a couple of these out of my way, because we aren't going to use them immediately. Oh, and the reason why I have these extra fans, they're not extra, is because when I ordered this, the Okeanos Aqua 3 case that has the RGB fans was not in stock. So I ordered the one without RGB fans, which means we're not going to have the hub, but I ordered 3 fans to replace it. So I do have some extra work to do on this build now, but it's okay. We could get through it. All right, let's get building. Also ditched Windows for good, since hardware is all AMD and work natively on Windows Linux. Nice. You don't hear that too often. And here's our Ryzen 7 5700X. Oh, thank you for the follow. Exiled Wolf over there on the Twitch. Much appreciated. And welcome to the Build Show. Alright, so our CPU is installed. Now we're going to install our 32 gigs of DDR4 3200CL16 by Timetech, which is their Pinnacle MM1K, quote unquote. I don't know if that's actually part of the model or series, but it's the Pinnacle series. The Pinnacle moment. Conduit. We drop those into slots A2 and B2. Next up is our 1 terabyte NVMe SSD Gen 4, which is our Predator. This is actually by Acer. Typically I use Team Group MP44 or Samsung 990 Evo Plus or 990 Pros, etc. But this was a much better deal when I placed the order. For pretty much the same performance, or close to it. Close to what was supposed to be spec'd out for this build. And that is how you build PCs today now. You pretty much eyeball it. I'm joking. I'm talking about parts trying to work around the insane prices. All right, next is our Peerless Assassin 120 SE addressable RGB, which is the bigger cooler than what we originally had on the order. Which I have to resolve that on the website. I'm actually working towards a new PC builder, which is super cool, on the website. I know it's something that we've been talking about for a long time. It just takes a long time to put it together, especially when things happen like right now, which is like parts go insanely expensive. Bro, praying he doesn't mess up on cam. No. I mess up on cam all the time, Alcola? Is that Alcola? Alcola? Kohel? I don't know. I'm not good with the English language, even though that's my primary. But I built enough computers and I've messed up enough on camera that it really, you could call me out. I don't care. I'll fix it. I'm only human after all. Okay. So, we've done a few of these Thermalright coolers. That's a joke, because I've done many of them. We already know exactly what we need here. But with baggy. Alright, so with this cooler, we do have to remove the stock brackets that are on the board. Forgot to zoom you guys in, sorry. Didn't really pay attention to that. But we gotta remove these stock brackets, and then we can put the brackets on for this Thermalright Peerless Assassin cooler. Which are these two studs on either side. And then there's these aim-4 brackets, which the rainbow faces inwards towards the CPU for aim-4. Aim-5 is actually the same. So if you are doing this on an aim-5 socket instead of an aim-4 socket, I just slipped, that was nice. It's the same hardware as aim-4, so even though it's labeled aim-4, it will fit aim-5. Just a note for those of you who don't know. That that is the case there. You got this. I'd be sweating my butt off right now. I mean, it's a little warm in here. I'm sweating a little bit, but not because I'm doing it in front of people. Weird, I could build PCs in front of people and talk about it, probably because I'm more confident about it. But I can't, like, I struggle with getting up in front of, like, people on, for example, like a podium in front of people. I struggle with that. Not very good at that. My brain just shuts right off. If I had a stage, and I was in front of people, and I was building a PC, I could wing that. So, you know, it's a big difference. I don't know why. It just seems it's always how it's been. All right, so for the Peerless Assassin, we've got a tower air cooler, but it's a dual tower air cooler. And what that means is there's two separate towers. We got 1 and 2. And how it works, if anybody's ever explained it, is we have heat pipes that are in the shape of a U that actually go right across the bottom here. This nickel plated copper. We also call that a cold plate, if anybody's looking for terms. So this would be considered the cold plate. And these are our heat pipes right here that go up through these fins, and the air just passes through the fins from the fans. And that's how it cools the heat pipes and the fins, because the heat transfers. There's gas inside these pipes that help push the heat upwards to where it's being cooled. So it's just constantly being cooled through these fins. So that is how a tower air cooler works. Very, very efficient, very effective. We're going to use the MX4 thermal paste instead of the Thermalright TF7, I think, that normally comes with this. And then for the letters on the side, we're going to try to match the letters on the ram so that they're facing the same direction. So the word Thermalright starts at the bottom and Pinnacle starts at the bottom. So we are placing that so that the aesthetics kind of match up a little bit. So it doesn't look funny. You could do it the other way around, but it wouldn't matter. But purely aesthetics, that is what I do. If anybody's ever curious why I do what I do. Why I do what I do. And then a longer screwdriver is definitely helpful for this scenario, because you got to reach down there in between, and then my knuckles are not getting chopped up by the pins, and I'm also not bending the pins by accidentally bumping them, etc., because it'll disrupt the airflow with bent fins. So if you got a cooler with bent fins, unbend the fins, because it will disrupt airflow and reduce its cooling performance. Is that by chance a Ryzen 5 5600? It is not. It is actually a Ryzen 7 5700X under this Peerless Assassin now. The base model for this build is a Ryzen 5 5600. And Ant-Man had a question about what is Max doing. Max is just chilling over here. Max, for those of you who don't know, is my puppy, a dog. His name is Max, or his full name is Maximus, because he's just always maximum everything. So if we're playing Crisis, it's maximum everything for Max. That's where I got the name. The idea for the name was literally Crisis, maximum strength. That's just Max. Oh, even better. Yeah. Yes, it was even better than the 5600X or the 5600. All right, so now that we've got the cooler mounted, we now want to install our two 120 millimeter PWM addressable RGB fans for this cooler. And I am going to put one in the middle and one above the RAM here. I already installed our PWM splitter here. I don't know if you can see that or not because it's kind of dark. Already installed that on the CPU fan header for the motherboard. So that's already been done. And the way to do this, with these lovely annoying brackets when you first take them out, but there's these little brackets, clips, I don't know what you call them. Annoying wee little bastards. But they have these little hooks that go over the holes on the top side, like so. And trying to do it so that it looks easy, so nobody ever is like, oh, that was terrible. And what I do is I actually just set that one, the first one there, because I want the fans to be the same height on the cooler, and the height for this front fan will be determined based on the clearance of the ram. The ram is going to be underneath this fan. So lower profile ram is generally a better idea for this cooler, especially if you want the ram at the front, and I prefer the fan in the front versus another option which you could put it in the rear, and that gives it the best coverage between the two towers. So you have push through this tower and push through this tower versus push pull on this tower and this tower being pulled through, and it's not as directional when you have it set up with the fan in the back, meaning this tower actually loses out on a little bit of airflow when you have both fans on this tower. But that is an option if you had to do it that way. And the next, we have these lovely cables that we're going to clean up real quick and get plugged in so that we can feed them to the back of the case when we get to that point. I actually might plug in the ARGB cables and zip tie this all up and then feed it to the back, because we are going to daisy chain some of these fans. Won't have a choice but to do that. These are PWM connectors, 4-pin. This is what spins the fan motherboard from the CPU. Fan header tells the fans how fast to go based on the temperature of the CPU with that connection. And there's a ARGB header right here I'm going to utilize. And then we're going to take all these cables and zip tie them up. In the case. A lot of people like to stuff these cables underneath the cooler. I'm not a big fan of that. Only because it makes, if you ever have to access these cables, a little bit of a pain to access them. And yes, what I'm doing is making it also a pain, but you can unzip tie it from the back and then just pull the whole wad of cables through if you ever needed to, versus trying to discover them from underneath the cooler. In my opinion, this is a cleaner way to do it. But everybody has their own style. No, we'll just put it there. That'll be enough to get it to the back. Speaking of which, we are ready for that case. Move this over. I'm going to zoom us out. We're going to get that case out of the box. And there are a lot of bots today on Kick. Hey, what's up, Steve? Welcome back to the Build Show. Hello. I have a 5800 XT coming in to replace the Ryzen 5 4500. That's a bit of an upgrade. Nice. Nice. Lovely. Also known as the most stressful and confusing part of PC building. Lovely. What? Yeah. The 5800 XT comes with a Wraith Prism RGB cooler, which is nice. Those are actually decent coolers. I don't like, however, the paste on that comes with them. I'm not a big fan of that paste. So I usually wipe that stock paste and replace it with something a little bit better. Don't mind me. Poor Austin's like, man, this guy's crazy. And he's building my computer. Yeah, sometimes cases don't like to come out of boxes like that. So, you just shake the crap out of them, right? No, don't do that. I do that because I have other cases here I can replace them. And it was fun. Yeah, it was a nice stress reliever for a brief moment, and I didn't break anything. And trust me, that box in this case went through way worse getting here on a truck somewhere. Okay, so this is supposed to have 3 RGB fans, but of course that version of the case when I placed this order was completely out of stock, so we got the base model without the RGB and without the nice little hub on the back. So that means we get to replace the 3 fans that are in the case right now with RGB fans. So, yay. Ben, when will you do all Linux build and test gaming on it? I don't know. I don't know if I could do that right now. Maybe after the holiday season when it's less insane. So basically what happens here is it gets insanely busy between now and Christmas. And then even after Christmas, it gets insanely busy. And then it slows down for a brief moment, and then it's tax season. Everybody has their tax returns and is looking to buy or upgrade, or it gets really busy. And then around April, May, it starts to slow down. This year was a little abnormal. We actually had a ton of very large builds during the summer, large projects, which was interesting because we don't normally it just slows down to an absolute crawl during the summer and we don't have anything. And we had a pretty steady flow of builds through the summer. Wonder if that's going to change how this winter is going to play out. Just install. Oh, you just install Bazite. Runs very well. Nice. Is it true you have to be a tech wizard for Linux? No. No, absolutely not. You have to have a basic understanding of stuff. But you definitely don't have to be a tech wizard to run Linux. Okay, now that we've gutted those fans, we can get our replacement fans, which are by Thermalright, out of its box. Get these installed. Jesse, Jacob, Brendan, over on the Facebook. Jesse for the like, Jacob and Brendan, thank you for the follows. Those are a little bit late, sorry. Didn't catch those. Been playing SH2 Remake. No problem on Linux. I don't like it. It can switch to Windows. I can switch to Windows if you don't like it. Yeah, you could definitely. You could actually set it up so that it dual boots, I think, from Linux to Windows, so you can have both operating systems. I would recommend, though, either getting a separate SSD for that, separate drive, or partitioning out your drive, and this would have been before you installed Windows. Unless you have free space, a ton of free space, so you could create a partition for it. Actually, we don't even need those. We could just reuse those. Yeah, and it also depends if... Well, no, not necessarily. If it was OEM, if it was an OEM product key, then his product key is going to be tied to his motherboard. If he has a retail copy of Windows, then it would be tied to his Microsoft account. So as soon as he signs into Microsoft, it would reactivate. Or if it's OEM, as soon as he reinstalls the correct version of Windows, it would reactivate. That is not necessarily true with the Windows licensing. If that's not your experience, then you probably had a full bad key or something. Something wasn't right. How do you get Linux? You would have to download it and create a bootable USB drive. In fact, you can actually make it so that it's bootable off that USB drive if you want to, and then boot off the USB drive. Or you could create the whole setup. Hold on. Sorry. Just know it is installed Home or Pro, you don't lose your Windows key. Well, yeah, you should know that. Definitely. Google search on Linux distros. That's a good search. That'll get you in the right direction. If that is something you were interested in. But be warned, Linux is not for everyone. Alright, now that we've got our fans reinstalled, you can definitely drop our motherboard in here. I didn't realize how tight this is, this board. With that cooler. Actually a pretty tight fit. We also need to put studs in here. So this is a micro ATX. With that. Probably could have done that right down. But nope, got those through. Well done. Does an AIO shield does an IO shield come with the motherboard? Yes. That always comes with the motherboard. Good. If you buy used and it's missing, then somebody didn't put it in the box. Trying to get into a very tricky place here. Blocking the view. I always forget how tight it can be. We got it. Gotta pop this fan back off. Good. So now we have USB-C. We have system fan 1 here, USB-C here, USB 3 here, front panel connector, addressable RGB here, and then our HD audio down there. So that we are going to run these 3 fans. And then we're also going to run our front panel connectors. And we'll get all those plugged in. There's our system fan 1. Okay, and then these are our power switch, reset switch. Hey, what's up? Onra, welcome back to the Build Show. How's it going, man? Been a Long week. Another long week. And there we go. Got all that in. The only challenge we're really going to have in this build now is getting that EPS cable in. That is something I considered maybe doing ahead of time, but I didn't do it. So, let's get that power supply out. Oh yeah. All right on time. Guard. You haven't gave me the free PC you promised me. I didn't promise anybody a free PC, did I? Remember promising anybody anything. Looks nice, Ben. Thank you, Roy. Looks like a complete disaster right now, but we'll get there. Thanks for being nice. Do 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 do. Ow. I'll be doing a micro build soon. Can't wait. Nice. I'm back. My PC's power supply got unplugged. How did that happen? I've tripped over power cords before, and they were power cords for a whole company. That was a bad day. But it wasn't really my fault. It was whoever like ran all the cables, and I was like trying to get through, and I think I was trying to track down or trace a bad Ethernet connection on a patch panel, and I stepped on a cord and it pulled it from the wall, and it ended up being the master to the UPS, and we found out actually that day that the UPS was bad. And I was only there for that particular job. I had no knowledge of anything else in the network. We ended up taking over that network because whoever was there doing it previously sucked. Aha. EPS cable. Come forth. All right, we got that in. It was a little tight, but we got that in. Our EPS cable in that back corner, back top corner. So next is our graphics card. Why was 2023 such a big compared to the others? Because I was full-time, Flex. So I was full-time and I spent a lot of money in marketing, and I tried to go and stay full-time. That is why. Now I am not full-time. There's just, unless I'm doing, you know, anywhere from 2 to 5 computers a day, I'm not making enough money to stay afloat because it's not very profitable. You do the math, especially when you're not doing Valium, it's not very profitable. The 9060 XT, 8 gigabyte. We also got the Pulse, Sapphire Pulse. So tight, that's good, yeah. Watching you build a PC made me get a little too interested in my hard drive. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Didn't catch that until just now. Did not catch that until just now. Oh, look! Thank you for the follow, Kingpen over on the Twitch side. I say Intel guys gotta stick together. Don't test me. You should come over and see what I've been doing the past hour on Kick. I see it. I see you, some giant idiot. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what's happening over there on Kick. There's just a, I guess somebody's targeting me. All right. Here's the Sapphire Pulse. All right, deep down, you and I both know who has the better systems. Thanks for admitting I have a good computer. So nice of you, Roy. Yes, and COVID, everybody was buying and building, so there was just a endless amount of available customers. There were so many customers that I could not handle it. I could barely handle it. I was actually in the process of purchasing a shop and also hiring. And I'm glad I didn't, because it slowed down in 2024, like bad slowdown. So then I decided we're just not ready for that yet. Once you start having overhead expenses, things get really stressful. Right now, I don't have nearly as bad overhead. I'm just keeping it in-house like this, which also makes it so I can offer better prices on systems right now and do things like this, which is have a cool, fun YouTube channel. And I'm not a businessman. It'll all be new for me. Going insane. No. That is the front side. Oh, I don't like how that keeps popping out. I think we're going to zip tie that guy to the back. Down so it doesn't pop out, jump into the graphics. Clean. About as clean as it gets there. Let's clean up the backside now, because that's a horrid mess. And we are 124. I don't think we're going to beat this 1 hour mark. Unless I go really fast with this. Four minutes to go, guys. Well, that didn't help. technically, I'm done. And we're at 1 hour, 30 minutes, 35 seconds. So technically, I got it done within the hour. 50% of you said I could not finish it. I guess I said under the hour. Did I say under or within? Either one would be under the hour, within the hour. All right. Y'all ready to fire this bad boy up? Austin, are you here? Maybe he's here. Maybe he's just lurking in the background. Dude. So maybe the next one will beat it. How's everything going? What's up, KR? Carrots? Carrots. Krato. What name is that? What's up, chat? Krat. Is that Krat? How's it going? Welcome to the Build Show. Round 9060 XT 16 gigabyte and a Ryzen 5 9600X. Only reason I ask because I built one build cores with better specs for that 1200. What are you talking about? If I'm allowed to ask, what was the final price of this build? Probably near 1200. No, it was. I think it was with shipping it. It was about $1,000, and then shipping. But please keep in mind the RAM prices are royally screwing everyone, and SSD prices, and soon-to-be graphics card prices as well. Compact builds like this are harder. Sorry, I missed your comment up there earlier. I was face down trying to get the build done within the hour. That was 35 seconds short. Oops. Flex says I got to replace my 13900K. I never did RMA when all that jazz happened, and it is constantly at 100 while gaming. Yeah, definitely either that or take a peek at your cooler. But sitting at 100 while gaming, that's a little too hot, Flux. But you should still be able to RMA it. They extended the warranties on those chips. Intel did. RAM is cooked. That is an understatement. That was the second idea. That was my second idea. I live in the shadows. Gotcha. So are you Austin? It's like half the cost of the whole build. Yeah. My future PC went from 2600 to 3K because the 32 gig kit of DDR4, or I'm sorry, DDR5 6000 is almost $500. You can find some decent DDR5 32 gig CL30 6000 actually for around 340. I was just looking at the prices before we went on stream. You, alcohol. Why am I having such a difficult time reading English? Are you Austin? Or is Austin here in the chat, guys? Does anybody know? Anybody see him? Maybe he's lurking. Agreed. Yeah, maybe I need some alcohol. All right, so in honors of Austin, since he has not come forward in the chat, we're going to punch it. Here we go, guys. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, that didn't happen. 3. I'll hold up 2 numbers for 3. 3, 2, 1. Punch it. Much better. Rude. Sorry. Had to do it. The old power supply switch on the back. We saw nothing. You saw everything. Hell, I could sell my 64 gigs of DDR5 and buy a whole new CPU, motherboard case, You could almost buy a new computer, Tat. Roy? Yeah, some of the regulars are probably like, "Oh, Ben, again?" But there's new people. We have to tease them and make them think it didn't work. All right, we got fired up here. Got some RGBs going. Looks like we're getting to a post right now. There it is. We're posted up and headed to the BIOS. There we go. So Austin, your PC is built, but we still have to do the Windows BIOS updates, the drivers, the battle testing, the tweaking, the twerk. No, don't say that. That was a bad idea. Bad word. That word does not go there. That doesn't fit. Told you I was bad with the English language. Anyway, that is your build, Austin. Austin's like, if I ever see my PC builder be twerking, probably gonna throw up. I would throw up too, it's okay. You almost made it. You almost made all the kick people happy. Yeah, I know. No, you don't want to watch me set up the OS. It's a very long, boring process. We are, however, going to do another build. That's right. It's Double Down. Double Down Friday, where we do 2 builds. Last couple streams, we've been doing 2 builds because I have not been streaming enough. But we are getting back to a very regular schedule as orders and builds are flooding in. No joke. So we're gonna be building like a madman over here. So for Austin's build, the physical build is complete. So now we gotta get him on the bench and start getting Windows and stuff done. Probably going out on Monday is most likely when this will be shipped. So I think this was. I'm pretty sure this was. Oh. Yeah, you wanted it shipped. So, and because you're actually in the state of Michigan, it's not that far. So it'll probably be 1 day. So, all right. On to the next one. We can thank Amazon for labeling over our CPU. You know, we're scraping at the bottom of the barrel when we start using Western Digital for our SSDs again. Looks like an open box. This was not supposed to be an open box. That'll be fun. Although, it literally just arrived today. Oh, no, it's... Yes, it is open box. But it is the card. It's actually the card, thank goodness. That's a positive. I hate when Amazon does that, when you order something new and you get something used. Hey, familiar power supply, familiar motherboard, very familiar build. Very close to the same build, except for we are doing a 7600, RX 7600, and a Ryzen 5 5600, and we are doing the Assassin 120 refined. The Western Digital Blue is the SN 5100, PCIe Gen 4, 7100 megabits read-write, read. I think it's actually 6000 on the right. And then we've also got our 32 gig kit. This is ETAC Shadow 2. I've actually used this stuff before, and it is 3200 megahertz CL16. It is decent, but we're scraping at the bottom of the barrel, guys. Does the serial number match the box? Good call. $4.49. Yes. The box and the card match. That's a plus. 2 builds, yes. Ant-Man, we're doing a second build, another AIM-4 build. It's 10 for me. I have to sleep soon. Oh, no worries. Scamazon strikes again. That's a good one. I actually have never used that one before. Roy says he would also be interested in seeing my twerk. Maybe we do need an OnlyFans page after all. I'm joking. There would be no OnlyFans page here. Classic. It is. Okay, so we have to update the name, and then we can run through the build itself. But it's pretty much the same build. And we'll get started on it. Delete, 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 delete. Funny. Yeah. Build number 119 for Ben. Not me. For the record. Another Ben. Okay? I'm not building this for me. I'm building this for a customer named Ben. I promise. Okay. So we have a Ryzen 5 5600. We've got that going on a B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi. We've got the 32 gigs of DDR4 216 gig sticks. 3200 megahertz CL16. That is by NETAC, which is the Shadow 2. So it has a heat spreader on it. And then we have the Assassin X120 refined ARGB cooler by Thermalright, cooling the CPU. The 4 heat pipe tower air cooler, single tower. And it also has one 120 millimeter PWM addressable RGB fan. And then we have a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue SN 5100 M.2 NVMe Gen 4 SSD. We have the Power Color Fighter AMD Radeon RX 7600, which is an 8 gigabyte graphics card, and then the 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply, non-modular, and we have the dark flash version of the Okinawa's Aqua 3, because the Aqua 3 was again out of stock. So this is the build that we're doing. Like I said, very similar build. So now that we've already done it once, let's see if I can do it twice and beat my record. We did that other build in 1 hour. I did a lot of talking, so probably. All right, good night, alcohol. Have a good one, man. Make sure you stop in again. And if you haven't already joined the Discord channel and you want to hang out more or learn more about when we're streaming and what's happening, feel free to join the Discord channel, which is !Discord. Thank you. Some giant idiot in the chat, which should give you the link, which I did notice actually, some Johnny Idiot, that it was not doing it. It was acting up. Oh, there it is. Finally. Then you can always keep track of when we're streaming, etc. If you don't like the YouTube notifications, or if you want to ask questions about computers, really good place. We also game there. Lots of fun stuff. Anyway, have a good night, sir. Let's get started. Here we go. Let's see if I can beat my record. Right now it's 1 hour 46, so we have to beat 2 hour 46, which I kind of have a feeling I'm going to beat this record. Oh, we're gonna blow through this one. Nothing. Then we could get to gaming on Friday night, right? Actually stuffed the packing thing into the hole and then just taped it up and shipped it off like that is. So. I knew you guys were silly, but now I know you're really silly. There's a Ryzen 5 5600 going in. Next is our 32 gig kit of DDR4 3200 CL16 RAM. Which actually looks a lot like that, what's the name of that brand that we see a lot of? Not Team Group, but kind of similar to Team Group's style. But T-Force is Team Group, but I'm thinking of another brand and I can't think of the name all of a sudden. Like, my brain just said, nah, nope, we're done. We're not thinking of that. It'll come to me in a minute. Not Silicon Power. I like Silicon Power. I actually used them quite a bit. I still use them, actually. Actually. Okay. Now that that's done, pretty sure we are replacing these again with brackets. I want to say V color, but it's not V color. It's not Forza. Forza. It's not Forza. but it's not V-Color. I can't think of it. There'll be like a... Oh yeah, I knew that. As soon as I see it. Neo Forza. It is not the Neo Forza, no. There we go. All right, we got our motherboard prepped and ready to go in. So let's just get that, pop that case out. Oh, it's taped. That's what's going on. Well, these panels aren't coming off. What's the other thing about that, though? This case versus the Okinawas. Okay, though. Oh, still can't think of the name of that RAM. Hasn't come to. Don't think it's coming. Nighthawk rings a bell though. Nighthawk is Team Group? No. I gotta go look it up. Oloy. Oloy is the brand. Night Owl, not Nighthawk. Sorry. Night Owl. So, you got like the little eye, and they've got these little wings coming off. Oloy is the brand I am thinking of. Finally, I told you it would come to eventually. What's for dinner? Cleve? Roy? That was close. Ant-Man, what's for dinner? Actually, don't know. I didn't get to go look at dinner yet. That's how my day's been going. The girls had dinner. I didn't have dinner yet. And it's 11:34. As soon as I eat dinner, I'm going to want to not film. So, usually what happens to me. If I eat dinner, I'm not going to want to stand around and build computers. I'm going to want to go take a nap. Alright, so now we've got our USB-C, USB 3, our front panel connectors that we have to get plugged in here. We're doing very good on time, by the way. We're about 20 minutes in. Doing excellent on time. Wanted to throw that one out there. Might actually undo these. Fan. Single mess. That's good. I can look. If I cable manage it with these, it'll look like fast. And we don't typically do that. Sometimes I'll get away with it on like the XR because it's a little bit more spread out. When they're all clumped up like this, yeah. So opening it up will allow me to run this down the channel. Hopefully. One. Hey, what's up, Mason? Welcome back to the Build Show. Nighthawk is Team Group, you were right. Thinking of Night Owl. Hawk. Gosh, don't you understand? Okay, so now that that's all done, get a power supply. Gotcha. Go for it. Good night, some giant idiot. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Whipped that. Coming from the back door. Fix that real quick. There you go. Clean build. At least the inside looks nice and clean. Yeah? All right, let's clean up the cable management on the backside, and then we're good to go. We're at 2 hour and 14 minutes. 2:45 is the 1 hour mark, so we're doing really good compared to last time. In comparison between time and last time, we're doing very good. I think those fans going to swap out definitely slowed us down a bit. All right. I think we're ready for this one. Know if Ben is here in the chat. He is. And you want to fire this thing? Let us know. Build number 119 for Ben. Here we go. I'm going to assume he's not here in the chat because I haven't seen him at all. So, on behalf of Ben, this is your build, number 119. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Move that bus. That's an old one. That's an old reference now. But we did beat the 1 hour mark. We came in at almost 23 minutes faster than the last one. So I built this one 23 minutes faster than the last build. This one was a little easier because we didn't have to mess with fans, but I don't think that was 23 minutes of fans, was it? Probably 23 minutes of Ben yapping. So that would have been like 40-ish minutes, 42 minutes. Or, I'm sorry, 38 minutes long for this build. Or 37 minutes. Pretty good. Not bad. Oh yeah, I definitely ignored you. Sorry. Well, nobody was really chatting anyway. So, I was like, alright, we'll go heads down and get this done. Nice quiet build stream, you know. Ben, be quiet. I've been rambling all day about Microsoft Teams and working on a stock right now for this company, and I'm good with not talking. But there you have it, Ben. Not me. The other Ben out there. There's your build. Ben built Ben's build. That's a good one. Hey Ben, when you watch this video, how have you been, Ben? Because I get that one a lot. How have you been, Ben? Ben? Anyway, that will conclude our stream for the night. We got through the 2 AIM-4 builds that we did tonight, one for Austin and one for Ben. Builds 118 and 119. Collectively, that's where we are right now, is totaling at 119. We actually have done 3 more builds off camera. So we're technically at 322 or 122. 322. 122 is our actual number, so I'll probably bump that number once we get back on stream again, which tomorrow we're going to be doing a bring your own part build if the customer shows up and drops his parts off tomorrow morning. If he does, tomorrow night we'll do the bring your own part build where he's bringing his parts to me and I'm just doing the build for him. I was going to do that live on stream, and then also We were going to try to build our case that was sent to us from Nerd. If you don't know who Nerd is, he's a big member of the community. He's been around for a long time hanging out. And he sent me a custom case that I do have to assemble. So I'm really looking forward to assembling this case. And the case would be for me, for my personal build. Actually, it'd be for the new streaming build that I'm planning on doing here, probably after the Christmas rush, the holiday rush. So, unless it's just that dead because of how pricey everything is. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. So if you guys want to stay tuned for tomorrow night, make sure you follow. And then also, if you haven't joined the Discord channel, make sure you join the Discord. Discord links are on all of the pages, but if you would like the link in the chat, it's !Discord in the chat, and you will get the link to the Discord channel, which is already in the chat, I see. So, with that being said, guys, happy Friday. Happy weekend. What are you still doing here? Go game. It's Friday night. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Weird, awkward moment while I try to find the next scene. Have a good night, guys.